Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into the fascinating field of abnormal child psychology. We'll explore the foundational concepts and various methods that researchers use to study psychological disorders in children. Throughout this presentation, we'll focus on scientific approaches, effective research strategies, and the ethical considerations that guide this important work. Let's get started on uncovering how science helps us better understand and support children facing psychological challenges. When we talk about research in abnormal child psychology, it's important to understand what research really means. At its core, research is a systematic approach to answering questions. It's not just random guessing or assumptions. Instead, it involves developing theories. These are our ideas or explanations about how things work. But these theories aren't enough on their own. They need to be backed up by solid evidence. That evidence comes from carefully designed studies that provide reliable data. So, research in this field is all about combining thoughtful theories with well-planned investigations to better understand the challenges children may face. When we study children's problems, we follow a structured research process to ensure we gain meaningful insights. It begins with developing hypotheses, which are informed guesses based on existing theories and observations. These hypotheses guide our investigation. Next, we carefully select and define our sample, deciding who we will study to ensure the findings are relevant and reliable. Then, we choose appropriate measurement methods and research designs, striking a balance between what is scientifically sound and what is practical in real-world settings. After that, we collect and analyze the data to uncover patterns and draw conclusions. Finally, we interpret the results in the context of what we already know, always remembering that this process is iterative. New questions often arise that push our understanding further. Throughout every step, ethical considerations are paramount. We must obtain informed consent and minimize any potential harm to the children and families involved. This systematic approach helps us make thoughtful decisions and advances our knowledge responsibly. Here, we're focusing on one of the central questions in child psychology, understanding the epidemiology of childhood disorders. Essentially, this means studying how often these disorders occur and how they are distributed across different groups of children. Researchers look at a wide range of settings and populations to get a clear picture of the incidence and prevalence of these conditions. This helps us understand which disorders are most common, how they vary among different communities, and informs how we approach prevention and treatment strategies. It's a crucial foundation for all further study and intervention in child psychology. When studying behavior, it's crucial to rely on research measures that are accurate and trustworthy. This means the methods we use need to be standardized, reliable, and valid. Standardization is about keeping procedures consistent across different situations, so everyone follows the same steps and comparisons are meaningful. Reliability refers to the stability and consistency of the results. If you repeat the measurement, you should get similar outcomes each time. Finally, validity is key because it ensures that the measurement genuinely captures what it's supposed to assess, rather than something unrelated. Together, these qualities form the foundation of sound research in behavior studies. When we talk about research strategies, there are several key approaches to consider. First, experimental designs are where we actively manipulate variables, using control groups and random assignment to establish cause and effect relationships. In contrast, non-experimental or correlational designs simply observe natural associations between variables without manipulation. Then, we have prospective versus retrospective research. Prospective research tracks participants over time, collecting data as events occur, while retrospective research looks back, relying on participants' recall of past experiences. Another approach is analog research, which recreates real-life situations in controlled settings to study specific variables more closely. Finally, qualitative research focuses on gathering rich narrative and contextual information, capturing participants' perspectives to deeply explore meanings and experiences. Each of these strategies offers valuable insights, but choosing the right one depends on your research questions, practical constraints, and ethical considerations. When we talk about diverse research designs, two important approaches come to mind. First, case studies. These provide a deep, detailed look at individual children, often focusing on those with rare disorders or unique challenges. While they give us rich, in-depth information, it's important to remember that the findings from case studies might not apply broadly to other children because they are so specific. The second approach is single-case experimental designs. These include methods like the ABAB reversal design and multiple baseline designs. They allow us to carefully observe and measure how a treatment affects a child over time, all within the same individual. This kind of design is powerful because it helps demonstrate whether changes are really due to the treatment itself, giving us a clearer picture of its effectiveness. When conducting research involving children and families, it's crucial to prioritize their protection by adhering to strict ethical standards. This means obtaining informed consent from parents and, whenever possible, getting assent from children who can understand what's involved. Equally important is ensuring that participation is entirely voluntary. No one should feel pressured or coerced into taking part. Respecting these principles helps maintain trust and safeguards the well-being of all participants throughout the research process. In this slide, we focus on the key terms that are fundamental to understanding research methods in abnormal child psychology. Some important concepts you'll encounter include the ABAB reversal design, analog research, and randomized controlled trials, or RCTs. You'll also see terms like comorbidity, which refers to co-occurring disorders, and correlation coefficient, a measure used in statistical analysis. Other essential ideas include internal and external validity, informed consent, and neuroimaging techniques. Grasping these terms is crucial because they help us better understand how research is conducted and how to interpret its findings accurately. Without a solid understanding of these concepts, it's easy to misinterpret study results or overlook important details. The chapter also provides section summaries that highlight the scientific approach to research, the steps involved in the research process, and various methods used to study behavior. Additionally, these summaries cover different research strategies and designs, as well as the ethical considerations that must guide all research involving children. Together, these components form a comprehensive foundation for studying abnormal child psychology through evidence-based methods.